Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sarcasm Live. Woo.
Woo.
And you are listening to a delayed episode, mostly because my butt didn't want to cooperate. Yeah. So there might be some pauses in this show. If I say hold on and then I press pause on the show, like most of the people here that's listening won't know anything is wrong.
Right.
But it means that my butt is not cooperating again. Cool. I don't know. It's just I don't really know what the problem is. Let's be honest. I'm gonna be real honest with you. Lately, my intake has not been has not changed much. My output has been, and my output decided to increase 10 minutes before the show. Yeah. It's like my body was like, you are going to do a podcast? Fuck you, dude. So yeah, that happened to me.
You haven't been eating any dairy or anything? Even like so much shredded cheese?
No. I'm lactose, so dairy does the opposite for me.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I take the pills and stuff like that when I eat something with some cheese or something like that. But lately, it just hasn't gone. It's just been kind of weird because, especially like the couple weeks that I was, that Blue was here, like going to these restaurants and stuff like that, almost certainly I was eating something with some cheese and I'm loading up. And that's probably what the problem is. I was loading up on lactate. Like when I went to the Italian restaurant, because we talked about the Italian restaurant and that lasagna, and they just put a big fucking, it's like a sheet of paper size of mozzarella on top of it. Yeah. So I was taking like 2 or 3 lactate pills in order to get through that. It was fucking good though. Oh my God, it was good. But that probably caused some problems with my digestion taking over what I really should be taking for that. Right. So yeah, that probably caused some problems. And now I'm reaping the benefits of those problems.
Right, because and does that lactate stuff like does that work like Imodium or anything like that?
Well, no. Well, Imodium is what you use once the I call it the pouring. Once your butt starts pouring, you use Imodium to stop it from pouring. You use lactate before you have the dairy to prevent yourself from pouring. Right. If you have those kinds of issues,
Well, the reason I was asking that is because Imodium does have a side effect of course, constipation. I didn't know if the lactate also could cause something.
Probably. I mean, it probably does. I don't know. I'm using, and also I'm using a different brand, so that might have something to do with it too. But so I'm gonna try to get through this. We're gonna try to run about an hour. And we're going to get through this. So what's going on in your life, B?
Well, actually, there wasn't too much until today. And the tree in the back of our yard fell. Well, not the whole tree. It's just like, it's a really, really freaking big tree. That tree has to be like 300 freaking years old. Wow. Because it's probably like a quarter of the side of our living room. I mean, it's really big. You wouldn't be able to like hug it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a wall.
You sent me a picture, and then you also sent me a picture that had like your dog laying in front of your TV. Yeah. And at first glance, it looks like a butt with a thong in it. I guess it's your dog's. I guess it's your dog's collar, but it looks like. But the way your dog is curled up like that, it kind of looks like a butt with a thong in it. Well, it looks like a white girl's butt, because white girls' butts you can actually see the thong all the way through. So that's funny right there. I don't care who you are. But yeah, it kind of looks like that. But I saw the tree. That's a big tree.
Yeah. The part that fell, it seemed like it was sort of inside the tree, like a part that may have been really old. And I believe in trees, the inside is older than the outside. So
yeah, because hold on, wait. How do you how do you judge it based off of the rings? That is the rings. Yeah, it's older. The oldest is the center. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
So
right. You're right.
so the this part when I was looking at it, it was like the wood was like very dark, like black, like it's like rotten wood. But then when it hit some of the limbs, which one of the limbs are actually holding some of it up, and if that falls, then the whole thing would fall and just take out my freaking fence and everything. But that the limbs were like just looked like wood, like a light like oak
Mhm.
wood.
So
So,
how you plan on fixing that? Like, are you gonna try to cut it yourself, or are you gonna try to get somebody to do it? I mean, I know that getting people to cut trees to help you with something like that is probably pretty stinking expensive.
right. I don't know quite yet.
You should
Um,
totally get you a chainsaw and do it yourself. That sounds like a great idea. Until you fucking harm yourself. That sounds like a great idea.
yeah. Um, well, I mean, I do want a chainsaw at some point because I mean, there are really good uses for a chainsaw that just all of a sudden you're like, I need this cut. I can do that. You know what I mean? Safety first,
Absolutely. Yeah.
but yeah, but that's just so big. I don't even know how, because you have to like position yourself because kind of like know which way it's going to fall and all this stuff. And I,
I would start on the end that's the furthest down and cut it back.
yeah,
I mean, based off of the picture, that's probably how I would approach it.
right. Because but yeah,
You should
my
totally
parents
post this picture in the Facebook group so they know what the hell we're talking.
right. Yeah, yeah, I will.
Also, post a
But
picture of your butt dog.
okay. But I just said but but yeah, I'm gonna have my parents come out and kind of look at the situation because it's also my uncle's land, so he
Say
might
say
yep,
say that you need them to help you assess the situation and make you sound smarter.
yes. But I'll get on Blues level. I'll get on Blues level.
Blue ain't on my level. Blue be trying so hard to sound smart. Let's be honest. He be trying so hard. It's like, bro, it's not that serious. Like, the prevailing populace of our modern society is rather incompetent, mentally incompetent. Hence why we have 45 in the first place. So, yeah, you don't really need to say all of those words, and you don't really have to use big words when you could have just said something easier.
Yeah, because they actually brought that up on the 40 cast because Glovebox hung out with Blue when he was up there,
Uh
and
huh.
and one of them, it might have been Matt, asked if he was using any big words around him.
Yeah. Blue is a sesquipedalian. A sesquipedalian is someone who uses big words unnecessarily.
But
And
yes,
yes, that is a real word. I learned it. From Ben Folds, who is a sesquipedalian himself.
I like Ben Folds actually.
Yeah,
He
he's
was some
cool.
family.
He's cool as shit. I was super into the sing off,
Uh-huh.
and he's one of the judges for the sing off.
Because he's like so. I mean, he takes his music seriously, but he doesn't really take himself seriously. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, because I saw him, NPR, their music section. Well, if you follow them on either Facebook or YouTube, they have a series called Tiny Desk, and pretty much they just bring in artists
Yeah,
into their.
I've seen a couple of Tiny Desks. I've seen uh T Pain's Tiny Desk is really interesting because it was the first time you heard him sing without auto tune, and like
Uh,
there's this recent video of T Pain singing with some guys, and he's singing without auto tune, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, he can sing!" And I was like, "Yeah, we knew this a couple of years ago when he did the Tiny Desk thing."
yeah, he. But anyway, the Ben Folds one, he was playing some of his newer songs, and he was talking about how when he was growing up, which is totally like, I mean, I can really get behind this. That it's really hard to be sincere or like or like be sincere around your friends or people you're trying to impress. because being scared kind of makes you vulnerable. So it's a lot easier to just like write songs about, having three dicks, you know what I mean? And then be like, yeah, that's funny, listen to this song, and you're like almost like it's easier to make fun of yourself as more of a lighthearted thing than to say this song's real, this song's from my heart. It's harder to make yourself vulnerable or to say, hey man, listen to this funny song I wrote because
Yeah.
So
T-Pain, I'm just looking at this, and it says T-Pain's Tiny Desk concert is the most popular Tiny Desk concert in NPR history.
I could see that.
And the Tiny Desk is 2 years old, but he just did a mashup thing with a couple of dudes. One dude playing piano, one dude playing like a violin or something. And he did like a mashup of his songs with them. But that was like a month ago, and people are just now like, "Oh my God, he can actually sing!" It's like, yo, we knew this 2 years ago. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, one of my favorites actually is, which it brings it back to 45, is when Wilco did a Tiny Desk. They're kind of an alt country type act, I guess. But Jeff Tweedy was like, right before their last song, he was like, "You guys really need to do something about this Trump album. It's like really fucking weird. Like, isn't it weird? That's what you guys do. Just do something about it. You guys at NPR, like, do something about this crap." I was like, it's so funny. But.
Yeah, I added the Ben Folds Tiny Desk to my watch later. Ben Folds Tiny Desk has 664,000 views, and T-Pain's has 10 million views. Well, almost 11 million views. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's really like one of those, everybody was like, T-Pain can actually sing. You should watch this. And that's how it just kind of spread on Facebook a while ago. But yeah, man, I dig the Tiny Desk. I like Anderson .Paak also, because he, with that. And now, Anderson .Paak was singing, and he was singing songs from the album, and he was playing drums the whole time, which is like, holy fuck, he is actually like really like doing that. And even to the point to where he was singing pitch perfect while playing 16s on a hi-hat, which is, unless you've been playing drums for a while, doing 16s is consistently doing 16s and singing while you're doing 16s and not messing up the tempo is amazing, bruh.
Right.
Like, okay. Just for people who don't understand what I'm saying, doing 16s is hitting the hi-hat 16 times in a 4-count measure.
Yeah, like, i.e., really fucking fast.
Yeah, yes, it is not for the faint of heart. I would say that.
Death grip beats.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, with it just on the hi-hat, it's not that bad, but yeah, it's like amazing because he plays the drums the whole time, which is really stinking cool. All right, so I will say work got real crazy last week, and I was to the point to where I was really like tempted to say fuck this job. Like, it got that bad towards the end of my coworker's vacation. So that shit just got really messed up, and I was just like, you know what? Fuck all of this. Fuck every bit of this. Fuck the fuck out of all of this. Fuck you. Like, I was about a half a step from saying that to everyone involved. But it's also like all of the stuff that was going on during that, and then also the fact that I wasn't even supposed to be there. Like, I'm so ready for this new job. It's not even funny. The new job was supposed to start on the 1st of August. It's almost September, and I still don't have the job yet. And they say it's still going to be a few weeks. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I am with that. But since my coworker came back, things have improved a bit. So that's it's working out to my advantage, I guess you could say. It's working out a lot better for me.
Yeah, I remember when Pimp was on, you were You were pretty hot.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, that was the beginning of me just being just like, fuck this. But I hadn't gotten, I was like, I was on that fuck it vibe at that time. I wasn't necessarily fuck this job at that time,
Hmm.
if you understand what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, fuck this shit. This is way over, this is not what I planned to do while he was on vacation. Like this, that type of thing. So, yeah, so that's where I was with that. But things are improving and things are moving forward. And hopefully I'll have my new job soon. They finally got somebody hired, which is great. But the person that they really wanted, there were some issues.
Hmm.
I don't think he passed the background check, and for some reason he didn't have an ID.
That's
Yeah,
kind of a deal breaker.
yeah, I would say so. I would say that's pretty much a deal breaker. But yeah, that's what happened. Um, but all right, so before we get into what we've been consuming, even in and also we consumed something together.
That we did, and that was super fun.
It was a lot more fun than I expected it to be. But we'll get to that in a minute. And we should probably
Yeah.
do games last because we've been doing games first, and
Yeah. Well, last time I kind of did because
we kind of walked into that.
for a while, it's just kind of same old, and plus my job, I can't really even really talk about it. The well, HIPAA violations and all that. The but yeah, the so I kind of just go into games, and I've actually just been playing more games lately, just trying to finish games.
Yeah, you've been playing a lot. I probably won't be playing. I probably won't be playing a whole lot until Pooh Bear goes home because I mean, like, there's times when I'm actually home, which is not. I'm not home nearly enough. When I'm home, it's just like I don't want to really do anything, and then I let Pooh Bear play like The Sims or Minecraft or some shit like that. I just let her play and have her fun. I mean, fuck it, she's playing Minecraft. I mean, well, she's playing The Sims now, so.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, if you like, I want to play The Witcher, and then you're like, and all of a sudden Pooh Bear walks into the room in the wrong time. It's kind of hard, especially you kind of have to be like, which game can I play that it's not really a kid game, but not really something that's going to start her life as she walks in on.
Right.
You know.
Right, but I'm really tempted. I kind of do, but I kind of don't want to play Mass Effect Andromeda again.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't like in a couple weeks, Destiny is coming out and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, ugh. I mean, the season is getting ready to start. I mean, Madden's already out. I want to do the story mode for Madden.
Mhm.
I
That
really,
long shot thing.
yes, I want to do that. I don't know how much they're going to let me play on EA Access, but I'm
Yeah.
going to play as much of it as you can on EA Access. I don't know whether that's gated off like how they did Mass Effect, where you only pretty much did until you cleared the first vault on iOS.
Did we even
Deals.
get to go into clear the vault? Because I
Yes,
remember it
yeah.
stopping right before I went back into the vault or
When
something.
no, it was after you finished the vault and then that was it, right? Or did it stop right at the vault?
I think it stopped right at the vault because I
Oh,
remember it
okay.
stopping before I went into the door and I was going back into it. I'm not sure, but
I thought I remembered I finishing the vault, but I could be wrong.
yeah,
It's
I could be
possible.
wrong too.
It's possible. But here's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Hmm.
So one earlier this week, I got a message from Howard.
The Gamer Gator.
Yes. And he asked me to be on his podcast.
Okay.
And I took that as an opportunity to, if I was like, if I do it, then I'll be able to satisfy, like, I'll be on his podcast and I'll keep the audio and then I'll put it up on the feed and that could be my, because after the whole game, him outing himself as a gamer gator, you were just like, fuck that guy. Which most people are fuck that guy. Let's be honest. Um,
Yeah.
so I did a show with Howard, and there are plenty of fuck that guy moments. Um, and I wanted to ask you, and I don't mind asking you on the show. Do you want to listen to the show and help me decide whether I want to actually post this?
Um. I would say I would go with your judgment, but
I mean, I was gonna put the audio up. I was gonna put the audio up, but there's a couple of things that happen. Like it starts off okay, even to the point to where I make this spot on joke. There's a joke that I make, and he's drinking a little bit during the show, which probably didn't help. But I make him laugh so hard he throws up. And that was just a really funny moment. But it kind of as with things with Howard, it kind of takes a turn towards the end.
mm-hmm.
And then of course, after I stopped the show, because I stopped the show at a very, very weird point. Of course, he still wanted to talk, so we ended up talking for like another 45 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
But that's not recorded.
Cool.
So yeah. So I'm.
Yeah, throw it up, man, because I kind of I mean, it'd be cool because I mean, I don't really do like before I meet them or anything, but I mean, because it's weird.
I'm pretty sure any judgment that you have of this is valid. I'll just. I mean,
going off what he was saying in the on Facebook, like, who is this dude? But then if you just go off of, like, what he looks like, he just looks like just a normal like geek. I'm like,
he identifies as a blurred.
A blurred? What the hell is that?
Black nerd.
Oh, okay. Sorry. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I thought everybody, here I go again. I thought everybody kind of, like, deep in the freaking Reddit, like, despise the Gamer Gators.
Yeah, but I was under that
impression about fucking Nazis too.
Yeah, I was under that impression also, but like, so okay, so I'll send you the link, and there's I don't necessarily want to cut it because I don't really want to listen to it again to make cuts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you hear it, and then we can go from there. Cool. All right, so where do you want to start?
I'll let you start in. Since we're going to do games last.
Okay, so we'll start with what we're watching. I am like super deep into Voltron right now. Super deep. I did finish Gotham, which sucks because now if I have insomnia, I have nothing to watch. But no, I finished what was on Netflix. I have not. I haven't used Kodi or any of its derivatives in a while. So I don't. So I haven't watched the third season, but I've watched the first two seasons, and they were great for insomnia. But this sucks because I don't have anything to watch now. But I did watch that. I have been very much into Voltron, the Netflix series. It's really stinking good, bruh.
Yeah, I know. I haven't finished the season yet. I was trying to just watch it with Aiden because he kind of digs it and all, and so I think I might just watch it on my own. Yeah,
you should totally do that. It's made by as I started listening to an AfterBuzz show about Voltron, and there's a weird thing about this AfterBuzz show. It's all women,
mm-hmm.
and it's just kind of weird. I mean, because Voltron as a thing I've always looked at it as something masculine.
Right.
But it's a show full of women, and there's 5 women.
Right. Well, I mean, teach your own. I mean, there's girls that are into ATVs and guys that are into My Little Pony. I mean, what's your boat?
Yeah, bronies.
So.
Okay, so
I mean, technically, Voltron is neither male; it's a robot.
Right, and the really cool thing is Voltron has a couple of female leads, and the female leads are not typical female leads. Like they're not like pining after men, all of the, like that type of thing. Like they're not dependent on the men.
They're not your stereotypical anime girl.
Absolutely. So that's kind of cool. I really get. I'm through the first 2 seasons, and I'm currently in the third. So, but like me and Pooh Bear have been watching this stuff, and Pooh Bear's like totally into it with me. But they say it's made by the same people in Avatar, and Korra, and you can see their influence on a couple of the characters because this I watched the old Voltron. This one has like so much more of like comedic bits and stuff, and the old Voltron did not have a lot of it wasn't supposed to be funny.
Right.
But this one, of course, and then of course, just like Power Rangers, the original Voltron was Japanese TV show, and then they just dubbed it over with English and called it Voltron because I think the original was called like Go Lion, and then there was another thing. It was named something else, but it was called like Go Lion or some shit like that. So, but yeah, watch that shit. It is pretty fucking dope. Oh yeah, did we talk about the Defenders?
You.
I know I talked about it on Facetious, but I don't remember talking about it here.
About it.
Okay. Oh yeah, I couldn't have because it came out Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I finished the Defenders. Okay. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. I like how the thing that I like the most is like how like Iron Fist, the show, was kind of underwhelming. So they pretty much made Iron Fist and like who he is and what he's supposed to represent kind of the joke.
Yeah.
And that made me look at Iron Fist differently.
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't think that it's only 8 episodes, so I don't think that all of the main 4 characters were used enough. But I still think that it's like really, really good. And also, you can tell, you can tell that they still haven't gotten the dude who plays Iron Fist trained very well. Because a lot of the fight scenes, there's a lot of cuts. Like, it's cutting like crazy. And Daredevil seems like a much better fighter than he is. Like, you're supposed to be like the ultimate martial artist, but Daredevil is like a much better fighter than you. Much better.
Right.
Like, it's not even close. And like one of the main fights at the end, it's dark. So I guess they could use the stunt guy more. So it kind of works out a little bit better, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think the only Iron Fist was a miss with these Netflix shows.
Well, is Iron Fist relatable in that way? Like, I haven't watched it yet, but I was thinking, how you guys described it was probably how I would be. Like if all of a sudden I had a fist of doom or whatever, and you guys, you and Blue and Mike and everybody, and you guys were all fighting crime too, and then I come up there and be like, oh, freaking heathens here. Like, right. I'm talking about Persona again, and I'm like, I'm freaking Iron Heathen. Like,
right. And that's how they treat it in the Defenders. Every time he says, I'm the immortal Iron Fist, at least one person rolls their eyes like, you're right, buddy. And that's what I like about it. Like, they knew what they were doing when they made this. Is like, okay, we know we messed up a little bit with Iron Fist, so we're just making him kind of the butt of the joke.
But since there hasn't been a season 2 of a lot of the stuff other than Daredevil, do you think they're just going to continue the story with the Defenders and leave those alone?
No, because they're shooting the seasons. As I understand it, Luke Cage has been shot. Or it's like Jessica Jones or Luke Cage has been shot, or one of them has been shot and the other one really shooting. So like they do plan. I like the idea of separating them back out and still having them be a part of it. Just you don't necessarily need all 4,
right? Because I didn't know if it would be kind of like the Avengers to where. There really hasn't been another Iron Man movie or Hulk movie. I mean, there is going to be another Thor movie, but, they pretty much kind of went with the Avengers as a whole versus...
Yeah, because Civil War was an Avengers movie, let's be honest.
Yeah, it was.
But see, Black Panther isn't going to be. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So... It's all working out. I really enjoy all of these shows. I did not enjoy Jessica Jones as much. I understand it. It just didn't strike me. It didn't do much for me, but I understand why you needed that.
Well, she almost don't even really seem like a Marvel character. She seems more like a character that would be out of like, what is the like Black Mask
Image,
or
image. She seems like an image
Image
character.
or something. Yeah,
Yeah, but see,
like
here's the
so.
thing: the character in the comics is a completely different like character. I guess so at some point this character needs to get beyond where she is in her life right now. And embrace a little bit more of who she is because the comic book character like can fly and shit.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's the I think her reluctance is really holding her back, and the binge drinking. Let's be honest.
But do you think that they should have started earlier with her rather than starting in this moment?
No, I think I think they did it right. Um, I think so far they've done it right. The only problem has been real problem um, has been with her season. It didn't get good until the villain showed up.
Hmm.
And the villain has been one of the best villains in the Marvel TV universe, but it didn't get good until he showed up.
Right.
And it's kind of the same thing with Daredevil. Daredevil was better. A lot of people say Daredevil season 1 was better because you had the Kingpin,
Hmm.
and like a good villain will bring the best out of the hero. I think Iron Fist suffered from the fact that the villain wasn't really that strong. It was really more about him, and then they spent a lot of time dealing with corporate stuff with the company and all of that kind of stuff. And I think you spent too much time away from him trying to figure himself out, and as a result, he never quite figured himself out. And and my biggest problem with Iron Fist is by the end of the season, he hasn't quite figured out all of his baseline abilities. It's like he's you have a group of superheroes and somebody has to be the moody teenager, and in this he's the moody teenager.
Hmm.
That's kind of how I see it, because the end of the Defenders is very much a moody teenager thing. It's like, why the fuck did you do that? Like, what is wrong with you? Why did you do that? And that's pretty much what happened.
Hmm.
You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. How the big thing at the end happens is very like a moody teenager thing. So,
Cool.
but yeah, I enjoyed that quite a bit. Um, and then I've been watching like some documentaries on YouTube on like singers and stuff like that.
Hmm.
There's the show, and it comes on a channel I don't have. One, because I don't watch TV, and two, because it comes on a black channel, and it's called Unsung, and it's like documentaries about like singers and stuff like that you know of, but you don't really know much about.
Hmm.
But these are like people, a lot of them are like the building blocks of music, and what they did meant something to a lot of people, but it's just they aren't as famous as some of the other people. But because of that, like, of course, you try to put it on Cody or something like that, and no one's hosting this shit because most of the people that are hosting shit are not really the kind of black people that would give a shit. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's really hard to watch, and I really wish really wish they were on Netflix or something like that, because I would watch all of them. I would watch all of them all the time because I really enjoy these. So I've been watching a few on YouTube. Um, Nothing really to write home about.
Okay.
So what you got?
Well, we haven't really been watching too much. I was going to watch that Charlottesville thing from Vice, but I haven't
Uh-huh.
watched it yet. I haven't brought myself to watch it yet. But the and I've heard it's good. And I'm not the biggest Vice fan. I mean, some of their doc and stuff are actually really good. It's just following them on Facebook or something like that on social media. It's just the most fluff crap you've ever seen in your life. But then
Yeah,
they'll do something.
I did watch this Vice doc on YouTube, and it was about this town in South America where all of the guys learn to fuck by going up in the mountains and fucking goats.
Okay.
It was like one of the weirdest things. Somebody shared it in a group I'm in. It was like, what the fuck is this? Oh my god, they're actually fucking goats, and they're like, it's a thing. Like, we don't really talk about it, but this is how we really do this type thing. And
Uh-huh.
I found that to be like, holy, people actually do this.
Right. But they've done some. I do really like it when people will do intimate, more, I guess, less interviewy type interviews with artists and stuff that are
Mm-hmm.
more intimate and like conversational, and they do a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I seen one with the band Deaf Heaven that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen one with another band called Touche Amore that was pretty cool. And they've always been very like low key and intimate, and it's been really cool. Where it felt like you were actually hanging out with the people. You're like, hey, they're like just regular, like
Uh-huh.
totally. I mean, not that those bands are like really popular or anything. I mean, they're popular in the the scenes that they the music scenes of their genre, but
Right.
they're not on freaking VH1 or anything.
Right.
But yeah, I like that kind of stuff. And well, there's actually a new, I don't know if it's new, but it's new to me. It's a YouTube series called "What's in My Bag," and it's basically an interview of who artists and people that go into record stores, and they pretty much ask them what they bought, and it's really freaking cool because the people would actually really go into detail about about something or whatnot. I saw one with uh Greg Anderson from Sun, and he bought some really interesting things, and it was pretty cool. He was talking about Black Sabbath. He got this like box set of Black Sabbath's Paranoid, and went into this story about when he was young and this girl he liked that had a Black Sabbath shirt on and all this stuff. And then he had bought a live album from Miles Davis, and he was talking about Miles Davis for a while and his favorite Miles Davis era, which was the when he started doing the electric, using electric and electrified his trumpet, and put the story and just got really experimental with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really cool and really intimate and down to earth, which is actually why I like the Tiny Desk, because I've been to shows like that, like shows in record stores, like actual like hardcore shows in record stores. It's the coolest thing ever because
Wow.
it's super freaking loud, but it's so intimate because you're right there with the artist, you're right in their face, and it's like, because I saw Mark Hoslick in a record store, and he's pretty much a pioneer of indie rock. Basically, he was in the band Red House Painters, and we went to a record store, freaking saw Mark Hoslick just sitting right in front of him, and he was like doing a bunch of Modest Mouse covers. It was, just talking things and stuff. It was pretty cool. But
Did you do Float
so,
On?
I don't think so.
That's kind of like the only Modest Mouse song I know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a good song. I definitely dig, and I dig that album too. But because he actually released a Modest Mouse cover album. I don't know why. He just kind of just felt like doing it. He kind of just does what he wants, because he teamed up with an artist called Jesu, and Jesu is kind of like this doom metal experimental act,
Mm-hmm.
and is basically the guy from Jesu just droning his guitar and playing these doom metal riffs. Cosmic just talking over it, railing, just ranting about hipsters that go to his shows and stuff.
Wow.
Like it's really good though. I mean, it doesn't sound like it would be good, but it is. I definitely dig it.
There's a YouTube series, and I can't think of the name of it, which really sucks. I mean, of course, the YouTube series that I don't really watch as much YouTube as I used to, but I do check into the Rogers. The Rogers Bros, they do react videos to marching band videos.
Huh.
But like show bands videos and stuff like that. But there's this series, and you said the thing about the record stores.
Mhm.
There's a series where they'll get like a producer or something like that, and they take him to a store, or him or her to a store, and they blindfold them, and they have to pick, and they have to walk around the store and pick up three records, and then they have to they have to use samples and make a beat based off of something in those 3 records. It's actually
Huh.
pretty stinking cool because I mean, they're usually pretty short and they cut out a lot, but like seeing someone who does this for a living and how they listen to these albums and what they're listening for and how they turn that into beats and turn, how you turn these samples. I mean, because I'm really into samples anyway, but how
Right.
you give somebody something that you absolutely that they just walk in there, they pick 3 records, and it could be anything, and they have to at least take one of the chop it up and turn it into a beat. And I cannot. It's been a while since I watched one, so it doesn't show up on my list. But if I ever figure it out, then I'll post into the Facebook page, the Facebook group, because it's
Okay.
really cool.
Is that sounds like the hip hop version of a Magic the Gathering draft pick, where you just like get like 3 random packs and have to build it, and that's what you go with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that. I'll allow it.
I had to get Magic in there sometime because that was the last time where me and Pimp were both talking Persona and Magic. You're like, what is happening to me? Why is
Yeah,
this happening? What did I do?
it's just like I hate everything right now.
It was wonderful.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was not wonderful at all. Nope, not one bit. I can say that pretty emphatically. Yep, it's not. Okay, so I think that's all I've been watching. Should we? Okay, I guess we could just go into games.
Sure.
Have you played any? You've played more stuff than I have. I've only really played the game we played together.
hmm You want to do that last? Or you want me to go into the?
No, yeah, we'll do that last. You go ahead and do your thing first.
Well, last time I talked about that, I had started Transformers Devastation. I beat that in 2 nights, like just pretty much 2 play sessions, and so it is really, really fucking short. But I did notice one time playing through it, only got 2 achievements. So that game is built upon multiple playthroughs, doing playing with different characters. It's almost kind of like the game Black back in the day,
I remember
where
Black. I don't think I ever finished it, but I remember it.
because that game was really short too, but that game was also built on playing through it multiple times. Because it's a game that has multiple ways to play it, the best way to build the game is make a short game so it's not a freaking chore. Mass Effect 1 tried to do that. We're like, hey, this game can be played multiple times with different characters, party members to get all the achievements. And you're like, but this game lasts freaking 70 hours. you know,
Right.
that works better with like a 4 or 5 hour game that you can just blast through. I mean, yeah, the game was really short, but I had it was really, really fun. I mean, I loved Transformers growing up, and it was pretty much exactly that. Like, as you remember Transformers growing up, it was. I guess you can call it service, but I liked it. But after I finished that, I downloaded another free game from a few months ago called Murdered Soul Suspect,
Hmm.
and
Yeah, I saw
that
you playing that yesterday.
that game I had played a little bit on PC because I think I got it for like $2 on PC as well, and I really liked that game too. And a lot of people really hated it, and I'm not sure why. I mean, I know it's not like the best game ever or like a AAA game or whatnot. It's very kind of indie, but there isn't really anything wrong with it, like glitch wise or like that it terrible controls or something, because it's mostly a story game. There are some parts to where there's demons and you have to stealthily get around them or get behind them and take them out by extinguishing them, I guess. Or what is it called? Like the guy the spitting vomit and fuck your mother and
Huh?
The Exorcist. You exercise it.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I've only seen The Exorcist one time, and I watched it on a Netflix party on 360 with a whole bunch of people, so I really didn't get like a super, we were joking the whole time. It was like a group of us, like at least 6 of us on a Netflix party.
Right. But yeah, you can exercise the demons and if the demon gets to you, you're a ghost. So you're like, how can a ghost die? But the ghost would like literally take your soul. So that's how the ghost can die. But yeah, it's basically an investigation game. Like you'll go to little crime scenes and you have to look at all the pieces and piece it all together because you're trying to find out who your killer is and why because he's like killing other people in the town and whatnot. But it was decent. I mean, it wasn't super long either. I mean, I got through it and I liked it. And if you like trophies, I got like 75% of the trophies in one playthrough. So
I'm always surprised at people who still care about trophies and achievements.
I don't care about them too much, but if I see a game that's like, that's an easy trophy to get, let me get it, because it does still, there's still something about it when the trophy pops, you're like, oh, I got a trophy. Cool. You know what I mean? But, when it was new, it was like, oh, there's these trophy things. Now my games, because if you play a game that doesn't have trophies, it does feel a little empty. You gotta admit,
No, I don't check for trophies or achievements anymore at all. When they pop up, I'm like, cool. But they're these days, it's like your age. Like you know those milestones. Like when you get your 1,000, and when you get to 5,000, when you get to 10,000, and then once I hit 25,000 on achievements, I never cared about trophies. But then again, I got in on PlayStation late.
Yeah.
I got in on PlayStation 3 late. So I've never really cared about trophies at all. But achievements, I really cared about it until basically like how it is with your age. It's great until you turn 25. Once you turn 25, you're just like, what have I done with my life?
Right.
And that's the same way I felt with achievements.
Yeah, because I think the achievements have a little bit more weight with the score because that's like a big number. You can number bigger, but on PlayStation it's more like you don't really. I mean, there are calculators you can tell how many silvers will actually get you to another level, but with the level thing, it just. I mean, I see what they're going for to make it kind of like an RPG.
I think it would have been better if they could have made the trophies thing in PlayStation Home actually work. Well, right. If they could have made PlayStation Home work.
Yeah, because PlayStation Home, when I had the 360 and I had PS3, and I heard about PlayStation Home, I was like, man, that's really cool. I wish our avatars looked like realistic characters that I could actually walk around with and stuff. So that the
actually, that's going to happen.
Really?
They're updating the avatars on Xbox real soon.
They should have did something with it because they're still there. They're just buried. And the avatar, even though it is pretty stupid, and it's like why do you care? But it's kind of cool having your own little character. I mean, you know what I mean?
I like. There's a couple of games that I played that actually use your avatar. I mean, Guitar Hero, was it Guitar Hero 4 or 5 that let you play Guitar Hero with your avatar? That was cool. And also, for me, me and Pooh Bear play a decent amount of Kingdom and World of Keflings. And you play
I was about to say that. If you didn't say that one, then it would be like...
you play that game with your avatar. I like that. And then, I think you use your avatar, right? What's it, the free game, the Doritos Crash Course?
Oh, yeah. That one you did, too. Because the first one you didn't. The first Doritos game, which was with the dinosaur. But
I never played that one. I heard it was like easy achievement points, but I never played that one. I downloaded it, I think, and then just never really got around to it. But right. I played Crash Course. Crash Course was fun. And you know what else? When Crash Course came out, there was another game that came out that was free called Harm's Way. Harm's Way was super stinking fun. It was basically like a racing game, and then also like half of the people were racing and half of the people were in control of turrets that were on the sides, and you could shoot at the cars. Like they usually paired you up with someone, and you were basically on the turrets protecting them.
Right.
I like that game. That was fun to me. I did a game night or something around the time when it first came out, and that shit was a lot of fun.
Well, I wonder if Xbox is going to do something like what Nintendo's about to do and have like an actual like MMORPG with your avatars, like how Nintendo's about to do that with the Mii's.
But I mean, it's like Nintendo doesn't have Miitomo on the phones,
right?
I don't necessarily want Microsoft to do anything more than actually make the games that they're working on come out. Because the delay of Crackdown was a huge bummer to me. It's like, come on, man. Like, you want me to buy your new console and I don't have cool new shit to play on it? Like,
Right.
bringing back Crackdown would have been a cool thing. Now, granted, I was not buying the X at launch, but I do want one.
Hmm.
And now I'm just kind of looking at that $500 price and like, I don't see enough here. Like, I mean, of course, like Forza is going to take advantage of it. It's going to be able to play older games, a lot of older games better, but I just don't see $500 worth of an upgrade, especially because I'm not in 4K yet.
And I still think the S kind of looks better. To me, I really like the look of the S. I mean, it looks really good.
Yeah, but
I mean,
hopefully,
from a design.
hopefully, hopefully, what'll happen is when the X comes out, I might look into an S and then give my daughter the original, and then I'll buy Game Pass so she'll have stuff to do.
Right.
That's kind of the way that I'm thinking, you know.
Yeah.
But all right, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've played anything else at all. So let's talk about the game we played together.
All right.
All
Well,
right,
we had a really good game night on Sunday night,
Sunday night.
and
I
we
didn't know
had
it was
layback.
official game night. It was just kind of like you were playing the game. You were like, "Hey, I'm getting ready to play a game. You want to play?" And I was like, "Do it." And then we started playing Killing Floor 2.
Yeah, and that was really fun. And I had played it earlier, and I talked about it and whatnot, and you're like, man, this. I think this could be really fun with friends because
hmm
it kind of reminds me of Left 4 Dead and Call of Duty
It's
Zombies
it's
and
horde
everything into a bundle.
it's horde mode with Left 4 Dead.
Hmm.
Is the best way to explain it, you know, because a lot of the special those Zeds or what do they call them?
Yes, Zed.
Zeds. Um,
Yeah.
because that's how foreign people say the letter Z. But there's like special ones, and they're very reminiscent of Left 4 Dead.
Almost too reminiscent.
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, I mean, I did not expect very much from it at all. But it ended up being really stinking fun, and we played a little bit. You had played some with Layback.
Hmm.
And then we played a little bit, and we got to a boss, and then it didn't go very good.
Right.
Yeah. And then Fred Rojas joined us.
Right. And
Shout out to Rojas.
definitely, because that really brought it into where we were like, oh man, this is because I miss game nights with other communities and whatnot, and it's because every time I'm like, oh man, I just kind of want to play by myself. I just want to play an RPG, and then once I do something like that, then I'm like, fuck single player. I just want to do this, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really digging because there's so many classes to choose from too, and
Yeah.
they can like really help you out. And like you've been playing with the SWAT around, and
Yes. And I really like character, especially once you get to level 5 and you can choose the thing where they can't grab you.
yeah,
Really stinking that just that one just I don't know what do you call it, one perk
yeah,
has changed, and turning my weapons to single shot really helped me out a lot. And I like
yeah,
the
and
fact
plus,
that if you pick a weapon, if because you can pretty much buy any weapon that you want.
yeah,
It has that Counter-Strike thing where during the rounds you build up money, and that money you spend on upgrades to your armor, and your ammo counts and all of that, and you can purchase other weapons. And okay, here's my only problem with it.
mhm,
I realize that you can set favorites because there's a couple of weapons that I go back to all the time,
yeah,
and the favorites don't carry over. It's a very counter type thing, and the Counter Strike aspect is this in between rounds thing where you could just buy a whole bunch of shit. Is Counter Strike and Shadowrun also was like that.
hmm yeah. I think Wig the survivalist guy because even though he starts out with a random weapon in the beginning, the difference with him, yeah, you can pick any weapon for any character you want to, but the first set of weapons are called perk weapons, and that means like your perks that say perk weapons have 20% more damage. Those weapons will have the bonuses. But with survivalist, all weapons have the bonuses. you can pick for anything. Everything has the bonuses, and so that's really really cool. It's like, so once you start survival, you don't have to scroll over to all. It's just all right there in the beginning.
Yeah, on my other big game,
Mm-hmm.
getting your health back is such a pain because it's not like you can just get a health pack and just be like, okay, back at 100%. No,
Yeah.
you have to press the button and then you shoot yourself with the health, and then it goes up a little bit, and then you got to wait for the meter to refill before you can use it again to get it all the way back, to try to get your health all the way back up, and trying to do that in between rounds when you also need to go in, and they move it in between every round before you can go. It's just, oh my god,
Well, I heard that some of because there's another podcast called The Disconnected Gamers. Shout out to them. Yeah, they're a pretty small podcast, and he was saying that he was playing, and I was like, cool. Maybe you want to play some game nights and whatnot. But he was saying that he was playing support, which was the class that I was playing a lot of because of the shotguns. And
I like shotguns, but they take way too long to reload.
Right. He said, well, in support, they're pretty fast on reloading in support, but I think that he said that if you're near him, you might get ammo and things like that. So maybe like a class like the doctor class or the healer class would be, maybe if you get near the healer class, you'll get healed or something. I don't know. So
well, every time I was near you, it told me to press O to get more ammo.
Huh.
And then when Fred Rojas, I can't remember which character that he had, but it said press O to get grenades at one point.
Oh, that might have been me because I switched to the demolition, and
okay, yeah.
I think I might mean that guy because that was so fun, just like going around with a grenade pistol, just like blowing everything up. And then once I got the RPG, just like just taking out those big dudes like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And
but you kept dying. Yeah. You kept dying way too fast.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, it was still a lot of fun. It was still a lot of fun. It has a lot of that dead feel, but it's more of a horde mode type situation because you're in a map. The map is multi-layered and multi-tiered, but it's like horde mode, and you dead enemies and Counter-Strike in between sections where you buy and upgrade your gear.
Well, it wasn't as convoluted as the Call of Duty ones because it was like the Call of Duty ones was like, go through this door and then you're in a completely different area. It was like, what do I do? It almost seemed like there was but this one, it was like we started to learn the map a little bit more, like on the farm one. You go in the barn, then go in the house for this, but then we all meet up back outside. And you can pretty much go anywhere around that house is pretty much outside. Yeah. And we did a lot. We did pretty good on the...
And I learned it so much that I ended up being the one to survive a lot because I learned the method to backpedal while still shooting because I learned the outside area pretty well. Except for that one time I got caught on the car and it got fucked up. But every time the boss came, we just got destroyed. Yeah.
And I did learn one thing that was a little discerning is there is only two bosses, which is the Patriarch and, Dr. whoever.
So that's it?
Yeah, that's the two bosses. But I mean, I guess it's a blessing in disguise where you can really learn those two bosses. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So do the bosses have variation, or that's just who they are?
That's just who they are. I mean, it'll either be one of those two. I mean, they may add more bosses later, kind of like how they added because I think the Carnival and another one is new maps, and they release for free, so they might add more bosses. I don't know. So But
Yeah.
yeah, I actually might next time we play might try out the doctor class a little bit more to see if maybe that actually helps everybody out. Because I do like playing support like stuff because sometimes if you can't shoot, help people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm going to watch some Killing Floor videos,
Hmm.
and it's going to be awesome.
Well, we did on that Paris map too because we
Yes.
learned the
That's
that
another one. That's another one where the outside area turned out to be the best for us.
yeah
Because when we were inside and there's that little courtyard, which was pretty cool, but when the boss showed up, it was just that was when the doctor dude showed up, and it was just he just killed us so fast. It was like we don't know what we did wrong here, that
yeah.
type of thing.
Well,
But
each boss can like get their health back, but every time they get their health back, it's not like 100%.
mhm.
You know what I mean? There is a
It's
trophy
the same way with
killing.
us.
Right. There is a trophy for killing the patriarch before he gets a chance to heal, but that might take some leveling to do that.
I think the
That
best part about it is being able to get being able to get a full team together, because we do in 3 people, but you can do it up to 6, which is really dope.
Yeah, because
Because
if we, me, you, Fred, and just adding a laid back, and I think he might have his SWAT up to level 20 or something, and
yeah, I see this video from IGN. It's them playing with a max level SWAT character, but this video is 2 hours, and I'm not watching 2 hours of that shit. Yeah. All right, so I think we're a little bit over an hour. I mean,
okay.
I'll probably truncate the silence, so it might be under an hour. But we've been talking for it, so we can go. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Are we gonna try the Killing Floor for the game night?
Yeah, because I mean, most of us have it. I mean, it doesn't really
Yeah,
take that long to
it
download,
was free on Play. So if you have PlayStation Plus, go ahead and get that shit.
unless you're one of the weird people that say you don't just if you don't know a game, you don't put it in your library. Which I
Yeah,
put everything in my library.
I put everything in my library. Well, see, when you do it from the PlayStation, or when you do it from your console, you don't get to put the other stuff in your library, which sucks. Like I want to at the very least put the Vita stuff in my library just in case I ever come across a Vita or a PlayStation TV.
Yeah, yeah,
Which,
that is true.
yeah. So, all right. So, you want to say something to the people?
Yeah, Sunday nights, check us out. I normally have an event going on the PlayStation community, and if you join the event, it pretty much will like auto start you into the party. It will force you into the party. So there's like no forgetting unless you, because it even reminded me about the party when I wasn't even signed in and Amber was signed in. So it does pretty good about remind you about events and stuff. So, and I also made a event on Facebook, but just in case people see it on there. But yeah, we're trying to do Sundays. I tried to do Saturdays, and Saturdays don't seem to be hitting off like I thought it would, and Sundays is hitting off more than I thought it would. So Sunday nights it is.
All right. Well, for everyone that's listening now, thank you very much for checking us out. And we're going to get out there and try to play some games. It's going to be a lot easier to do when Pooh Bear is back home. But yeah, because I'm going to try to do I'm going to try to see. I got like 2 weeks left, or I got a week left. And it'll be easier to do when she's back home and in school and stuff like that. So, I'll be out there. And we'll be out there having some fun. So just holler at us on PlayStation. When Chase gets another Xbox, then we can do some Xbox stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out to freaking Gamers in Beta. They had their last episode. Like they were having a lot of troubles with Skype and things, and it was just they put a lot of work into that podcast. Even like a lot of editing, and like they get interviews and like actual news stories that they go over and all this stuff and all this work, and then Skype fucks up. So he was just like, I just need to take a break from this shit. So podcast for a while.
I seriously considered holding off on doing more podcasts until Pooh Bear was home, but I wanted to keep this going though, so I kept it. So, all right. So for the homie Chase, I'm Scarfinger. This is Scarcasm Live. And we're out of here. Peace out
Later.
to the Warriors.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. I'm telling. All right, I ain't gonna talk.